Picture this for a moment. The training ground is quiet, the winter wind is biting, and the locker that belonged to one of the most high-profile arrivals of the summer is being cleared out. There is no fanfare today, no Hollywood cameras capturing a glorious entrance. Instead, there is a sense of something unfinished. A chapter that was supposed to be a blockbuster for the Red Dragons has come to an abrupt, almost silent halt. We look at the images of him pointing to the sky while wearing our colours, and it feels like a distant memory already. Something very strange is happening at the racecourse. Something that makes you sit back and wonder about the ruthlessness of football. We aren't talking about a youngster being sent out to gain experience. We are talking about an England international, a man who has captained giants, quietly slipping out the back door. It is a move that raises eyebrows and instantly changes the dynamic of our defensive line. The narrative has shifted overnight.
So here is the reality we have to face today. Conor Coady has officially left Wrexham. He hasn't been sold, but he has been moved on. The headline is clear, and for some, perhaps a bit unexpected given the hype of his arrival. Charlton Athletic have signed the Wrexham defender on loan. This isn't a rumour, it is done. The 32-year-old centre-back, who we all thought would be the absolute bedrock of our defence for the next 2 years, is heading to London to join the Addicks until the end of the season. It is a developing situation that requires a cool head to analyse. We brought him in from Leicester City on August 1st. It was a statement signing, a 2-year deal for an undisclosed fee. The idea was simple: bring in Premier League experience, bring in a leader, and solidify the backline as we navigate the Championship. But football, as we know, rarely follows the script we write in our heads. The news coming out is that this is an immediate loan. He has gone. He is now a Charlton player for the remainder of the campaign. It's a massive call from the club, and it's a massive moment for Coady himself. We need to look at why this happened, because players of this pedigree don't usually get loaned out 6 months after signing a permanent deal unless the fit is fundamentally wrong.
Let's be honest with each other here. The marriage between Conor Coady and Wrexham simply hasn't worked out the way any of us envisioned. When you look at the cold, hard data, the writing's been on the wall for a few months, even if we didn't want to admit it. The report states clearly that he failed to establish himself as a regular for Phil Parkinson's side. And we know the gaffer. Phil Parkinson is not a manager who cares about the name on the back of the shirt. He cares about the badge on the front and the performance on the pitch. If you aren't doing the business, you don't play. It is that simple. The damning statistic here is the date, September 13th. That was the last time Conor Coady started a league game for Wrexham. It was that 3-1 defeat against Queen's Park Rangers. Since that match, he has been on the periphery. That is a long time for a player of his stature to be sitting out. We have to give credit to Parkinson here for making a tough decision. It would have been easy to keep playing him because of his reputation, because he's a former England international, but the gaffer evidently saw something in the system, or perhaps in the pace of our play, that didn't suit Coady. Or perhaps Coady didn't suit the high-intensity, physical demands Parkinson places on his centre-halves. That QPR game seems to have been the watershed moment. To go from a marquee summer signing to a loan departure in January tells you everything about the standards currently in place at the racecourse. We demand excellence, and if it's not clicking, we move on.
To understand the magnitude of this exit, we have to remind ourselves of exactly who has just left the building. We aren't talking about a journeyman. Conor Coady is a player with a CV that most footballers would dream of. He came through the youth ranks at Liverpool. He's been around the block, Sheffield United, Huddersfield, before finding his true home at Wolves in 2015. At Molineux, he was a titan. He made 317 appearances over 7 seasons. He didn't just play, he led. He was the club captain under Nuno Espirito Santo, leading them to the Championship title in 2018. He took them to the Europa League quarter-finals in 2019-20. This is a man who knows how to win this division. He knows what it takes to get promoted. He even has 10 caps for the England national team, earned under Gareth Southgate between 2020 and 2022. He scored for his country at Wembley. Ironically, that goal was against Wales in a 3-0 win, which adds a fascinating layer of subtext to his time here in North Wales. He had a loan spell at Everton and was part of the Leicester squad last season, although he couldn't prevent their relegation from the Premier League. The point I'm making is that the quality is there, the experience is undeniable, but sometimes pedigree doesn't guarantee performance in a specific system. It is a stark reminder that past glories do not win you points in the present. He is embarking on his 8th different club now, and for a player who was once so stable at Wolves, this recent period of his career has been incredibly transient.
Now, let's look at this from the perspective of his destination, Charlton Athletic. This looks like a move born out of necessity for them and a tactical fit for their manager, Nathan Jones. The Addicts are struggling. The report highlights that after a strong start to their first season back in the Championship since 2020, their form has absolutely slumped. They have lost 4 of their past 7 league matches. They just took a 4-0 thumping at the hands of their South London rivals Millwall. That is the kind of result that sets alarm bells ringing. They have fallen to 19th in the table. They are sitting just 3 points above the relegation zone. They are in a dogfight, plain and simple. Nathan Jones needs leaders. He needs voices in the dressing room who aren't going to hide when the pressure is on. Jones prefers a formation that includes 3 central defenders. This is crucial. Coady's best football, specifically at Wolves, was played in the middle of a back 3. He operates almost like a quarterback from that position, spraying diagonal balls and organising the line. It is seen as a good fit by the Charlton boss, and logically you have to agree. If Jones plays a back 3, Coady is one of the best in the business at operating that central role. For Charlton, getting a player of this calibre in their current predicament could be the difference between survival and relegation. He is their 6th signing of the window, which shows they are scrambling to fix their issues.
This move forces us to look in the mirror and analyse our own tactical setup. Why didn't he fit? We know the Red Dragons pride themselves on a certain style of play. Under the Hollywood ownership and Parkinson stewardship, it's been about grit, community and high energy. Perhaps Coady's style is a bit more methodical. He is a talker, an organiser, but maybe he lacks the raw recovery pace that Parkinson demands in his defenders, especially if we are playing a high line or getting exposed on the counter-attack. That QPR defeat in September must have highlighted defensive frailties that Parkinson felt couldn't be solved with Coady in the starting 11. It's a ruthless assessment, but football at this level is a ruthless business. We have to trust the gaffer. If he felt that the balance of the squad was better without Coady starting, then this loan move is the logical conclusion. It clears wages, it allows the player to get game time, and it allows Wrexham to focus on the players who are actually delivering on the pitch. It's not personal, it's tactical, but it is still a shame. There was a romantic idea of Coady leading us to glory, but the reality of the Championship is that you cannot carry passengers no matter how famous they are.
Football has a funny way of writing scripts, doesn't it? You couldn't make this up if you tried. Conor Coady has signed for Charlton, and do you know who they play next? His former club, Leicester City. He'll be available to make his debut for the Addicts against the Foxes at the King Power Stadium this very Saturday at 12:30 GMT. He joined Wrexham from Leicester. He couldn't stop Leicester getting relegated last season. Now he goes back to the King Power wearing a Charlton shirt, trying to help his new team stop the rot. It is a massive test for him straight away. It will be fascinating to see how he handles it. Will he be the commanding presence Charlton needs, or will the struggles he faced at Wrexham follow him to London? For us Wrexham fans, we will be watching with a keen eye, not out of malice, but out of curiosity. Was it us? Was it the system? Or has Coady's level dropped?
This Saturday might give us the first answer.
So where does this leave us? The Conor Coady experiment at the racecourse is paused and likely over. He is 32. By the time this loan ends, the landscape will have shifted again. It is a transfer that promised so much but delivered very little in terms of on-pitch success. But let's not be bitter. This is part of the evolution of a club that is growing rapidly. Not every signing will be a Paul Mullin. Not every arrival will be a fairy tale. We wish him well at Charlton. We hope he finds his feet again, because a player of his character deserves to be playing, not sitting in the stands. But for Wrexham, the message is clear. We move forward. We trust the players who are wearing the shirt and doing the job week in, week out. The focus remains on our season, our promotion push, and our community. One player leaves, but the Red Dragon keeps breathing fire. The squad is tight, the vision is clear, and we march on. The Coady chapter is closed for now. Let's focus on the next game. Up the town.